Hello wizards! Today I am back with a very important topic, that is permanent tissue. It is from the chapter Tissue of class 9's textbook, that is it is from chapter number 6. So students, in my previous videos I have gone through the topic tissue, its types, as well as gone through the first type of plant tissue, that is the meristematic tissue. Till now, if you have not gone through the video, you can click on the link given in my description box and can go through it. So today I am your Mahashweta ma'am is going to start the next part of the chapter, that is permanent tissue. Students, as the name suggests, permanent tissue means something permanent. The permanent tissues are composed of cells that lose the capacity to divide. That means the meristematic tissue generally grow and divide. When they stop dividing or when they lose the capacity to divide, they form permanent tissue. They have definite shape, size and thickness. The permanent tissue may be dead or living. The division and differentiation of cells of meristematic tissue thus give rise to the permanent tissue. In cell differentiation, developing tissues and organs change from simple to more complex form to become specialized for specific function. That means I want to say that the meristematic tissue give birth to permanent tissue which go through or which perform specific function. The cells of permanent tissue lose the capacity to divide and attain a permanent shape, size and function. So depending upon various factors like structure, composition, these permanent tissues are composed of or classified into two types as given in the chart in my previous video. That is, the first one is the simple permanent tissue and the second one is the complex permanent tissue. So I am going to give a thorough description of both the two types of tissue in this video only. So the first one is the simple permanent tissue. These are made up of same type of cells. Please note down, same types of cells which are similar structurally and functionally. And they are of three types: parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma, which has been given in the chart itself. So parenchyma cells or tissues have their own characteristics. So let me explain the parenchyma tissue first of all. These tissues first time were evolved from bryophytes. Bryophytes are a class of plants that are found in jungles or forests and everywhere, and you can study about this type of plants in the next chapter. They were first evolved, they were first seen in these plants. Then these type of cells are generally thin walled, they are oval or spherical in shape. The cell wall is mainly made up of cellulose. It's a type of carbohydrate which is very hard in nature. They have large central vacuole in the center of the cell, and the main function of the parenchyma cells or parenchyma tissue is to store food. Parenchyma tissues, when contains various chloroplasts in them, that means the chlorophyll containing organelle, they are called chlorenchyma. Just focus on the word chlorenchyma. Parenchyma becomes chlorenchyma then. And sometimes what happens, in some leaves or in some branches of plants, the parenchyma tissue or cells store huge amount of air and those cells become light in weight. They are then called aerenchyma. These are seen in aquatic plants and the function is to make the plant parts just remain in the top layer of the water, or it floats in the water simply. The next type of the simple permanent tissue are the collenchyma cells or collenchyma tissue. It is generally living in nature. They have elongated cells and with thick corners. The cells have thick corners in them. They have localized cellulose or pectin thickening. They provide flexibility to the plant. That means when we try to just break a branch of a tree or plant, it doesn't come to our hand directly. It bends simply. This is because of the function that is provided by the collenchyma cells or tissue. Even in some leaves or margin of the leaves, these tissues are also found. So we can say that collenchyma tissues provide mechanical strength as well as elasticity or flexibility to the plant. The last type of simple permanent tissue are the sclerenchyma cells or tissues. It is the word which comes from the word scleras, which means hard. That means sclerenchyma tissues are generally composed of cells that are very hard in nature. They are generally dead, okay, and the cells are generally thick walled and they are generally dead in nature. They have lignin, a protein which is waterproof. In the cells, the intercellular space is absent. Sclerenchyma cells are generally found in the husk of coconut, which makes the coconut fruit little bit light in weight and it floats in water if necessary. These are the three types of simple permanent tissue. Now we will shift to complex permanent tissue. Before that, I want to show the different types of cells that are present in parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma tissue that makes a difference in between these three tissues. So the picture depicts the difference between parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma cells. The next type of permanent tissue is the complex permanent tissue. Complex permanent tissue have more than one type of cell. Students, please note down, before explaining the simple permanent tissue, I have explained that simple permanent tissue have generally one type of cell, or structurally the cells are same, or they perform a single function, but complex permanent tissue have one or more than one types of cell which work together and perform the function. It helps in transportation of various organic material, then prepared food material, etc. There are generally two types of complex permanent tissue present in the plants. The first one is xylem and the second one is the phloem, which has been given in the chart. Xylem is the name which is also known as wood and is a vascular and mechanical tissue. It has thick-walled cells and are found in the form of tubular passage. Since it is useful in conducting or transporting organic material, the cell structure is tubular in nature. Generally, xylem consists of four types of cells. Once again, I want to repeat that the complex tissues have this quality that when they form a tissue, when the complex permanent tissue form a tissue, it is composed of different types of cells which may have different shape and size. That's why xylem have four different types of cells. First one is trachea, second one is vessels, third one is xylem parenchyma, and the fourth one is xylem fiber or xylem sclerenchyma. So it is given in the chart as I have mentioned. So tracheates are the cells which are generally dead cells. They conduct water and mineral from the root part of the plants and help to transport these water and mineral up to the leaves for photosynthesis. The vessels are the cells that are cylindrical in nature and also is involved in the conduction of this water and mineral. Xylem parenchyma is the cell which actually helps in storage of the starch or food, and xylem sclerenchyma or fibers provide a mechanical support of the entire tissue system. They are non-living in nature, so I can say that xylem cells carries four types of cells. Xylem tissues carries four types of cells, and among them mostly they are dead, some of them are living in nature. So you can see the picture of a xylem tissue which is composed of different types of cells, that is the tracheids, the vessels, the xylem parenchyma and xylem sclerenchyma. The next type of complex permanent tissue is the phloem, which is again composed of four types of cells, that is the sieve tube, the companion cell, the phloem fibers and the phloem parenchyma. So these cells are also structurally they are different. They have their typical function, but all together they perform a typical or a single function. Sieve tubes are generally slender tube-like structures as they are helpful in conducting some material, organic material, and they are elongated, they are thin walled, they are placed end to end. The end walls of the sieve tube are generally perforated by numerous pores called sieve plates, through which it can conduct the organic material. Nucleus of the sieve cells generally degenerate at maturity. The sieve cells contain or possess slime protein or protein which is concerned with growth and repair of sieve cells. The next one is the companion cells. Companion cells have dense cytoplasm and they have a prominent nuclei, that means more than one nucleus is present. Sieve tube and companion cells are generally involved for the conduction of prepared food material from the leaves to different parts of the cells, or it may conduct the food material to all the parts of the tree or plant. The phloem fibers and phloem parenchyma support the tissue, that is it gives the mechanical support as well as they store food and provide support to the entire tissue. So you can see the phloem tissue as well, which depict the different types of cells in it. There is a difference between the xylem and phloem in conduction of the material. The xylem tissue is actually helpful in conducting the water and mineral to the leaves, and the phloem tissue is generally helpful in conducting the prepared food material from the leaves to the other parts of the plant. So in my next video, I am going to discuss about the difference between some tissues which generally comes in the examination, that is the simple or small difference between different types of cells or tissues that are present in the plants. So students, hope you have understood what I wanted to explain. The simple permanent tissue and the complex permanent tissue together constitute the permanent tissue of the plants and is helpful in the performing various function. So that's all for today's video. Thank you and have a nice day. Please stay tuned to get my upcoming videos. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. You can also ask me some questions or can clear your doubt by typing in the comment box.